What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Okay, so let me explain what happened. Yesterday, I came fishing with Dad, and unfortunately, me being the big idiot that I am, forgot my chest mount, forgot any kind of mounting device, period, for any of my GoPros, and we were in Dad's boat. So we came up here yesterday. I didn't film at all because I had no way to film, right? I couldn't mount the camera, not even on the dashboard, not on my chest, not anything like that. And we ended up catching them, and I mean catching them really, really good. So, you know, it's not a loss. I got to spend a day out on the water with my dad, catching some fish, having a good time. That's all that matters to me. But today we're back out here. We're gonna see what we can get done. And I'm excited for the reason that, number one, we found them yesterday, but number two, we got a little bit of a mayfly hatch going on. It's not like full blown yet. It's happening further south on this lake, a lot better than it's happening here. But it's definitely like moving its way up the lake, starting to get more into the river. And when that starts happening, these freaking fish move up. They start eating everything that moves, because these mayflies bring in the bluegill, and then the bluegill bring in the bass, and the bass will eat both. They don't really care, you know, they'll eat the mayflies and the bluegill, and that's when you can start catching them on the frog, on the flipping bait, doing the stuff that I like to do, and catch them how I've been wanting to catch them but not been able to, just because the weather's been so weird. So jacked up about that today. We're gonna go see what we can get done with all that. But before we get any further into today's video, I just want to let you know that today's video is sponsored by the good people over at Monster Bass. For you guys that don't know what Monster Bass is, it's a subscription-based company, and once a month we're going to send you a box full of baits straight to your front door. Now, what's cool about Monster Bass is that we are giving you the tools for the time of year that you're fishing, as well as the region of the country that you're living in. So what that means is we don't just have a generic box that we send out to everybody. We have boxes that are designed for where you live and when you're fishing, to make sure that you guys can go out and put fish into the boat, bank, the kayak, whatever you happen to be fishing from. So I'm going to leave a link down below. Go check out Monster Bass. Awesome company. The link that I'm going to leave you guys is going to take you straight to the page that kind of explains what each box is, how it works, how much it is, and all that kind of stuff. So go hit that link for me. It'll help me out. But hopefully you guys will enjoy today's episode.
Yes, that if he was going to be arrested, he goes, but they will not be able to prove it.
Number one. I'm ready, a little craphead. Heck yeah. Oh, giant. Let's fish in the boat. Get the skunk out. Yeah, look at that little dude. Tiny but fun. I was trying to get one in the boat kind of before I started talking to you guys, talk about kind of what I'm focusing on today, but pretty much what I'm focusing on is wood and overhanging trees. And the reason for that, like I said this morning in the intro, there is a mayfly hatch going on. And so what those mayflies do is they are actually, the eggs are laid in the water, right? And then they come out of the water, and they come out of their exoskeletons, and they grow wings, and they start to fly. And when they do that, obviously that process of crawling out of the water, crawling up onto this wood and these overhanging limbs, and they grow the wings, they start flying around doing the mayfly thing. And so in that process, that's what actually attracts the bass and the bluegill, right? So these bluegill, they come up here, they start hanging out around these pieces of wood, these overhanging trees, these places where these mayflies like to get when they hatch and start doing their thing. And obviously the bass just follow the bluegill right up here and start eating on the bluegill. So that's what the structure bug is mimicking more than anything. Now those bass will definitely eat those mayflies, but they want to eat those bluegills more, right? I mean, you know, for the energy that they're going to expend, they want to have a bigger, more protein-rich meal, and that's what this structure bug does a really good job of doing. It mimics a little bluegill up there swimming around or injured around this wood trying to eat those mayflies. And as you guys can see, I put a little bit of chartreuse on the tails there, and that really kind of helps it to drive it home, to really do a good job at mimicking a bluegill. So that little dude come off that piece of wood right here in the water, and then I had another one come off this clump right back here that unfortunately I didn't get in the boat, but I did hook. So they're up here, they're eating, so that's awesome. So we're just gonna keep flipping this structure bug, kind of breaking down this wood. I mean, this lake's full of stuff like this, so I'm gonna break it down really quick and see if we can put some more fish in the boat. nasty there. You done? Mean. There we go. So chunky. Chunky, chunky, chunky. Oh, yeah?
And I was going to drive around. I got a guy coming to fix it.
Yeah.
Come to your house.
Yeah.
Hey, you might catch a dog while
Right there.
Oh, it's got fish.
There you go. That's funny. It was funny. I heard him start barking, and I looked up because it sounded just like my dog. I thought, oh God, where's my dog? And now I was like, nope, wait, that's somebody else's dog, Alex. That's funny.
Yeah, when you fish around here, I mean, sure,
Yeah.
the lake belongs to everybody.
Yeah.
But there's a dog wire, and I tried to pin it down.
Uh-huh.
But people catch it, they pull it out.
Gotcha.
Pull it up.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was pretty cool. Just got done talking to that gentleman right there. He stopped me to talk to me, asked me if I'd heard about those Asian grass carp that we have kind of invading the Tennessee River system, and I have. Trust me, I know it's a big issue. He actually just told me about a doctor of ecology and fisheries that is kind of on a mission to spread a message about the grass carp and kind of inform people and educate people about them. So I'm going to actually get in contact with that guy and see if he would like to come on the podcast and talk about grass carp invasion, because honestly, guys, it is a problem. And you know, I would reach out to your fisheries guys and your biologists in your unit if you live in Tennessee, northern Alabama, Kentucky, anywhere like that. I mean, none of these Tennessee River system lakes are safe from those things, and they're going to be a big problem if we don't do something about it. So you've heard me talk about it. You've heard my buddy Caleb talk about it. We've been huge advocates for getting rid of them. Now it's just our job to actually figure out a good solution with getting rid of them and how we can get rid of them. And I'll tell you this much, I actually met some biologists that were at the Bassmasters Classic when I was here in Tennessee on Loudon, and they were actually cooking grass carp, frying it up, and honestly it was one of the best pieces of fish I've ever had. I mean, you know, it's up there with definitely crappie, walleye, that kind of stuff. You know, when you think carp, you don't really think, you know, good fish to eat, but they can be. So yeah, that's cool to talk to that guy. That's a good little kind of moment to pause there, and I caught a fish off his dock. So yeah, we're gonna stay after it here, see if we can put a few more in the boat. They're still biting the structure bug, and honestly, I've not even like gone to my good stuff yet. Just trying to put a few in the boat before I go really kind of fish the stuff that I know there's gonna be a lot of fish there, maybe a few big fish. So you no. Man, they are all about that size. I can't seem to find the big ones today. Huh. They're eating it good though. Look at that, guys. I mean, stuffing that freaking thing. Yeah, it's been kind of weird today. They're all that size. Yesterday we were catching better than average ones. And it may just be a function of not ran into the better than average one yet. So they are munching. Structure jig though. I'm not even feeling a bite. That's the crazy thing, is it's just you pick up and they're swimming sideways with it, which is weird. I don't know if they're just eating and running with it or what it is. It's the same way yesterday. I literally never felt any of those fish bite. You just pick up and your line's moving sideways. So we're putting a little something together here, guys. I'm really enjoying myself. I mean, like, it doesn't get much better than flipping shallow wood and getting bites, and that's really what all these fish seem to be on, is some kind of wood, some kind of overhanging tree. Like I said this morning, I think there was a little bit of a mayfly hatch. I know there was, because there was mayflies a couple days ago when I took Holton out fishing. They were all over the lots at the gas station and that kind of stuff, and so it was one of those deals I don't think it's full blown yet, because when it gets like full blown mayfly hatch around here, the mayflies literally weigh the limbs down on the trees. There's so many, I mean, millions upon millions of mayflies. But this first little bit of a mayfly hatch, it's got these bluegills moving up here. It's got these bass moving up here, and these bass are feeding. Now I just gotta go try to find those bigger than average fish. So yesterday, you know, in a lot of these same places I'm fishing today, I caught a 5, I caught a couple 4s, Dad caught a 4, a couple 3s, and we just caught a lot of really, really chunky quality fish. Whereas today it seems like it's just a bunch of little fish, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, any one of these flips could be 5, 6, 7 pounders. So you just got to stay after it and pick a lot of that apart. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. This is the kind of crap I like to do. I don't enjoy deep fishing. I want to be up shallow, and I truly believe, like I said in my summertime baits video the other day, that there are enough fish up shallow for any person to go out and have a really, really good day on the water. And I mean, John Cox is proven in the FLW tournament right now, top 10, and he's not left less than 8 foot of water, which is really, really cool. But we're gonna run down here to this next spot. This next spot is a really, really good one, and this is where I'm kind of hoping that we're gonna be able to put a bigger than average fish in the boat. If not a bigger than average one, just a bunch of fish, because, you know, who cares? It's a ton of fun. But yeah, let's get there. Well, that's some shit right there. Golly. Well, I've caught a lot of crap flipping. I've never caught one of these before. Golly, be done, be done. Be done so I can get you out of my dang on boat. Come here, come here. Yeah, check it out, guys. Huh. Well, that was cool. Now I've got to completely retie because it's slime. Well, the area that was supposed to be my juice yesterday did not pan out. I ended up having one catfish bite, which is like the most random thing ever. Like, it was crazy yesterday. I went up that exact bank where I caught that catfish and probably caught, between me and Dad, we probably caught 9. I've caught 4 or 5 of them, and today they just like are not there, which is strange. I don't know if it's a timing deal, which that might be the issue. You know, I fished that bank 2 hours later than what I'm fishing right now. So it may be just a deal that the sun's got to get in a certain position in the sky and make that shadow that those trees throw just a little bit harder of a line, and it may suck those fish up onto the bank and make them want to be up there. Because you would honestly be surprised, especially shallow water fishing. See, that's why a lot of people like the deep bite in the summer, you know, warmer months. It's a lot more consistent, right? If you've got current and, you know, those fish are able to position on that stuff, you're going to be able to go out there and catch them. They're almost always there. They don't really move around a whole lot. They just kind of like to stay in a general vicinity. Especially when the current turns on, you know, it really forces them into a group. That's when you can kind of have fish that are in an area as big as a football field that concentrates them down to an area the size of the hood of a truck or something like that. But these shallow fish, see, they're more dependent on weather, sunlight, timing, and that kind of stuff. And so that's why, like, the shallow water bite in the morning is really, really good. And then you've got a lull, and then it starts to get better in the evenings because that sun gets in a position that those fish like. It casts shadows a certain way, and they're able to get up next to things, and you'll be able to target cast to them, you know, flip to certain pieces of cover and get bites. But I got some other stuff we can go run, try not to catch any more catfish, and no drum like we did last time, and hopefully put some big ones in the boat. But I'm having a ton of fun just flipping that little structure bug around and seeing what we can get done. But we'll run to the next area and just
that was a decent fish. I think we're doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing right now.
I think the little ones have taken over.
I know places I can run this.
I think the little ones have taken over. It's so weird. Like, I don't know how you go one day catching 4s and 5s to the next day catching a bunch of Dinkopolises, but so let's talk about kind of how I'm catching these fish, what I'm looking for, what I'm targeting. Like I said this morning, you know, really I'm looking for that mayfly hatch. That's kind of the bite that I'm on. And really there's a whole, you know, food chain that goes on around the mayfly hatch, right? So you got the mayflies that hatch out, the bluegills and the gizzard shad move up, and then the bass move up and they eat on the bluegills and the gizzard shad that are eating on the mayflies. And that's kind of just the whole system. That's the whole food chain from top to bottom. And you know, and this is really kind of a big deal post spawn for these bass, because you've got some bass that move out deep and they go follow those big schools of shad and bluegill that live out deep, and then you've got bass that live up shallow all year that really, you know, feed on the shad spawn, the bluegill spawn, and then the mayfly hatch. And that's pretty much what gets them through the summer, right? Because we're already into July. We got July, August, September, and really in September it'll probably start cooling down here, and we'll start to transition back into fall. And so those three things, the shad spawn, the bluegill spawn, and then the mayfly hatch, is really what gets a lot of these bigger bass that live up shallow all year through the summer, and lets them eat. But pretty much what I'm doing is I'm targeting anywhere that there's overhanging trees. You guys can see behind me here, there's some back in there, you guys can see some right here. And the reason that I'm doing that is because that's where those mayflies like to go once they hatch. They hang on the limbs of those trees close to the water, and that's what brings up those bluegill, right? And that's what brings up those gizzard shad, is those mayflies hanging on those limbs. And you know, when the mayfly hatch gets really, really thick, which it is not right now, I mean, this is just the very beginnings of it, it'll get to the point where there's so many mayflies on the limbs that the tree limbs are literally hanging, you know, like with weight, like they hang down farther than they normally would because of all the weight of the mayflies on the limbs. You know, and that's really when it just gets silly good. You can go down the bank with a frog pretty much all day long, or a flipping bait like I am today, and you can catch a lot of really, really quality fish. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking for those areas with those overhanging trees. I'm just flipping a little Strike King structure bug and moon juice, painting up the pinchers with a little bit of chartreuse to make it look like a bluegill. I'm running a 1/4 ounce Beast Coast Balmar flipping rate, some 15-pound Strike King fluorocarbon, and then I actually switched up my flipping rod and reel today just because I knew I was going to be fishing that little bit lighter weight. I went with my TP1 Black. It's my 7.3 medium heavy. This is that rod that I talk about all the time as my favorite rod in the whole entire Lew's lineup. I would not go anywhere without this thing. I mean, and then I've got that paired up with my Lew's Mock Smash, which I'm just really kind of testing out. I'm trying to break it. You know, it's a new $99 price point reel in the Lew's lineup. It's very popular, obviously, because of that crazy color that it's got on there. And then too, that is just such a sexy combo, right? I mean, it looks so good. You got that dark black and that bright orange. It kind of contrasts each other. I just like the way it looks. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of flipping these shade lines, flipping up under these trees. You know, I go from being in 2 foot to being in 10 foot. I'm fishing ledges. I'm fishing just a little bit of everything. I'm fishing anything and everything where I think those mayflies have been, that those bluegills have moved up. And another thing is, you know, it's not just the trees, right? The boat docks can really play big too. Anywhere there's a light, like if there's a light on the end of a boat dock, obviously those mayflies are attracted to that night, or that light at night, and you know, that can draw in the bass as well. But yeah, it's one of my favorite bites to get on in the summer. Like I said, pretty much throughout this whole video, I'm looking for those bigger than average fish. I'm not really sure what's happened to them. You know, yesterday I come in here, I'm catching 4 and 5 pounders. And today I come in here and it's a bunch of little ones, but any flip could be a big one. And what's funny is you probably can't see them, but all these shady spots have freaking 20, 30 bluegills sitting in them. And it's just where they're sitting there. You know, they know that food's there, and those bass will move up there because they know that food's there as well. So yeah, just want to take a minute, talk to you guys about that. We're going to keep after it here. What I may do is start making my way back up the river. There's a bunch of stuff I can go flip up there. There's a little bit of grass I can go fish, just to try some other stuff out and see if they're in it, and put a few more fish in the boat. And then we will head back to the Hacienda way. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Make sure you go down in the link in the description. I'll have all the stuff linked that I've been talking about and using in today's video. Use those links. They really help me out. They're actually going to start linking you to Tackle Warehouse now. So I'm working with Tackle Warehouse. So anything that you guys buy through Tackle Warehouse will help me out, help the channel out. Puts a little bit of money back in my pocket so we can make sure that there's gas in the boat and that we can keep making fishing videos. So go hit those links down below. It'll really help me out. But let's get back to it. Yeah, we'll end it right here. I had a ton of fun. that, I mean, like, it's one of those days that, you know, you can't really complain because you caught a bunch of fish flipping, and when you catch a bunch of fish flipping, you can't complain. Even though I didn't run into any big ones, it's been really, really strange. Like, I don't know how yesterday you come out here and catch a 5 and a couple 4s and, you know, really see that mayfly hatch doing well, and then today it just kind of goes away, but it was still happening just a little bit. But it's one of those things, this part of the lake is just a little bit cooler overall because of the river that runs into it. So this mayfly hatch goes a little bit later in the year than, say, the rest of the mayfly hatch does. And with all the crazy weather we've been having, it's just kind of inherently colder, period. So yeah, we're gonna end today's video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Make sure to go down in the description, hit the links for all the gear that I used today. Again, you know, I'm just flipping that Structure Bug, 1/4 ounce Beast Coast weight, 7.5 Mach Crush, 7.3 medium heavy TP1 Black by Lew's, and some 15-pound Strike King fluorocarbon. That's what I caught all my fish on. All that will be linked down below. And like I said, when you hit those links, you use those links, it helps me out a little bit. It helps me to keep on making videos. So go down there, check out the description. I'll have all that linked. But as always, you guys are sweet, and thank you for watching.